Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcome you to yet another Stone Cold Hockey 1981-82 series video, and we are looking at the New York Islanders trying to see if they will three-peat. We know we did that in real life, well, four and even four-peated, but I want to see if the dice give us a title. We have 63 points, tied with Montreal and Edmonton for number one in the NHL, and Minnesota has 62. So they're looking pretty good. Looking at the divisions, the 81-82 playoffs made a rule that the top four in each division move on within each division, and then the two divisions into a conference, and then we'll see all that. Minnesota, Chicago, Winnipeg, Toronto, the only point teams with 40 plus points at the doors, so they would make the playoffs. St. Louis and Detroit would not. In the Smythe, Edmonton, Vancouver, Calgary, and LA are looking like they're the four teams out of five that would make the playoffs. Colorado looking shit. They only have 7 wins. In the Whale, in the Adams, Montreal, Boston, Quebec, and Buffalo all have 50 points. Hartford only has 35. And in the Patrick, it's the Islanders and Rangers with 50 plus points. Philly, Pittsburgh, Washington. Goal scoring, Mike Bossy has 42 goals in 45 games. Gretzky's got 47. Trotier's got 35. Tonelli 32. Points wise, Gretzky 114, Dion 79, Stastny 70. Pelly minutes. Tiger Williams has 240 for number one. Well. Seacourts has 33 goals, but 198 penalty minutes. Danny Heron looking good, 15-1. Man, this guy's unbeatable. Why is Montreal not playing anymore? Malash, the 255. Billy Smith, 278. And Riley Milson, 13 for 374. So we'll see what happens. We've only played 45 games. We've played the fewest of the NHL. 46 Rangers and Hartford, but yeah, 50 games. Well, Edmonton, Calgary, and Quebec play 50 games. So our points percentage is 700, which is pretty good. Everyone loves NSYNC and something. Washington, Pittsburgh, it'll be a battle. Islanders 15-3-3 at home, 13-7-4 on the road. 220 for goal scoring, only behind Quebec in our conference and behind Edmonton in the NHL. So we'll see what happens here. Colorado's only won one road game. I wonder who it was against. I'm just curious. They won against Vancouver on the road. Okay, now we know. Okay. Standings wise, the Cupcakes are such that we had a 9-game winning streak, but it's been broken. Billy Smith 1943, Millicent 9-6-4. Bossy's got 77 points. Everyone who's got points has 6 points, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Highlights. But lots of hat tricks. This is the age of the thing. 60 hat tricks. Tonelli's the last one to do it. Donna Granick had a hat trick in a tie. Steve Payne a hat trick in a tie. Anyone having a hat trick in a loss? Darcy Rhoda did that. Barry Beck did that against the Oilers. We scored 10 goals on them. And Barry Beck had a hat trick. 10 games with 30 plus points. Pittsburgh Philly is still number one from October 11th when Pittsburgh was up 5-1 and choked it. It's the Flyers. Flyers 9-5 win over St. Louis when St. Louis was up 3-0 and choked it. Colorado's 8-5 win over Edmonton. They finally winning their first game. St. Louis Islanders November 26th in a game I did not do because I think it was off of an Islander tie. Rangers 7-6 on Halloween night. Our 4-0 choke job against Calgary. We were up 4-0 after 2 periods and we choked it. Washington, Colorado 7-4 on Halloween night. LA Pittsburgh on December 16th when LA was up 3-0 and almost choked it. Chicago Islanders January 2nd when we were down 3-0 after 1 period but scored to win the games. And Hartford Boston January 16th. Hartford was up 4-1, giving up goals by Milton, McNabb, Jonathan, and Gillis. So we're going to look at this. We are January 23rd. We are hosting our crosstown rival Rangers, and William Mielinson in the net against Eddie Meal, their backup against our backup. The Rangers, Steve Weeks usually does their games. John Davidson, a declining John Davidson, alongside John Van Beesbrook, the 18-year-old from the Sault Ste. Marie Greenhouse, and Steve Baker with the apple on his mask. Battling Billy Smith was not playing this game. Our starting players, in essence, Mike Bossy, the gifted 50-plus goal scorer every year that had to end his career due to back issues. Ryan Trottier, pretty good goal scorer, point scorer, and First Nations representation. Clark Gillies, number 9 in your programs. Hall of Famers, some say no, some say yes. Tonelli and Nystrom, the guys from the 1980 Stanley Cup winning goal against the Flyers. Bob Borden still there. Denny Pontin, number 5 in your programs. Speaking of number 5, that's how many players Montreal wanted to give the Islanders for the rights to Dennis Pontin, but the Islanders told them to get lost. Brent Sutter alongside Dwayne Sutter, 2 of the 6 Sutter brothers who played in the NHL. Brian, Daryl, Rich, and Ron. They had an older brother named Gary, who was a pretty good goalie, but he had to stay home while his brothers had to play hockey. Andres Calor. Butch Goring, part of the first ever draft trade deadline deal in 1980. Well, the most successful one because the others needed a number 2 centerman, and it worked. Wayne Merrick. Mike McEwen, who was a high-scoring defenseman for the Rangers and Avalanche. The Rockies before Don Cherry fucked them up. Thomas Janssen, Billy Carroll, Stefan Persson, Hector Marini, Dave Longerman, good player from the WJ, Ken Morrow from the American Ice, and Greg Gilbert. The Rangers with Ron Duguay with his flowing locks, Mike Rogers, 100-point scorer. One time, Mark Pavelich, part of the American Ice team, Eddie Johnstone, Don Maloney, decent guy. Richo Ruotsalainen, who once had 4 goals against us in a tie. Dave Silk, part of the American Ice. Pat Hickey, Dave Maloney, Kitchener. Mikko Lininen, who had 6 assists in 1 postseason game in the 82 playoffs. Barry Beck. Shoot the puck, Barry. Steve Vickers, Robbie Ftorek. Yeah, really hate Robbie Ftorek. Nick Fituyu, the guy from New York State. Mike Allison, Dean Talbot, Ron Greschner, who played over 1,000 games in Ranger uniform. Ron McClanahan, part of the American Ice as well. Carl Vande, Andre Dorr, Tom Laidlaw, Ed Hospital, Tom Younghans, and Peter Wallin. First minute. Not so Butch, his ace from Boston and Gillies. When for the Islanders. Aggression, save. 2 minutes later, aggression, and for the Kelly, setter. I don't care which one. Raylock fumbles it, and Hercules scores! Shirty from Canalian shots makes it 2-0 for the Islanders. Raiders, Johnstone, oh, how did he get stopped? Killing the clock. Score! He just scored a big fat goal. La 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 la. Now the score is 3-0. La 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 la. Join me now in this big chorus. La 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 la. Rangers are down like a man named Boris. La 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 la. Christmas Carol, his 4th from Trottier. 2 minutes later, that's 4. Brad Sutter, a person in London. Neil is losing his touch, kids. He's losing his touch. Good. Nice rip. Oh, fuck. I thought we had it. We're up 4-0 after 20 minutes. The Rangers are fucking losing it. And it will be the 18-year-old John Van Beesbrook who's going to come in the net. You might as well. Well, we scored quickly. Brad Sutter's second for Puckman and Pearson. 5-0. Aggression. And the winners are the third deck. Igor Canelli from Nystrom and Marine. Taking a point at 6-0. 5 minutes later. They're calling on the main boots. It's Maloney. What do we do? Boston scores from Calor and Canelli. I know I could be doing my calls for Mike Bossy, like the who's the boss. But I mean, we're up 7-0. LA Bossy from Morrow. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to use the 3 goalie rule. Landon and almost good. Yeah, I'm not going to use 3 goalies. That would be cheating. 16 o'clock, Wayne Merritt from Benjamin Trust. 9-0. Oh my gosh, everybody scored double digits on the New York Rangers? Probably not. Ah, no shot. It's Janssen. Oh boy. Just hang on, guys. Aha, Maloney's in the box. And Marie scores from Potsdam. Hey, give the guy a prize. 10-0. Holy St. Laurent. Well, Rolling Muleson of all frickin' people with a shutout. 10-0. Holy St. Laurent. Neil had nothing. And Van Beesbroek got shelled for 6 goals. We scored 3 goals on the power play, 1 shorthanded. We had 3 penalties, and we almost fucked it up. But yeah. Goring, Giles, Gillies, Carroll, Sutter with 2, Tonali, Bossy. Bossy and Sutter both hit 2, and then we had 6 guys with a goal. So 8 different Rangers. 8 different Islanders, 10-0. I think that breaks our record for our most lopsided win. I think it's the most lopsided win. Is it the most lopsided win ever? No, Edmonton's 14-1 win over Colorado. Lopsided win. And the Rangers tie Washington 6-6. Steve Weeks comes in net. Rangers actually were winning a few times. Carpenter scored with like a minute and a half left. So the Rangers scored 6 on Washington, whereas they couldn't score a damn goal on us. All right, what's our next game? Pittsburgh comes to town. Okay. Quebec loses 1-2. So Pittsburgh comes to town. And the Hatchet Man, Billy Smith, in the net against Michel Dion, number 29, who was a pretty good WJ goalie for Cincy and then went to go back then to Pittsburgh. Gary Edwards, Paul Harrison, Nick Ricci are your backups. Pittsburgh has Paul Gardner, Mike Bullard, not the comedian. Well, Canadians would only know that. Rick Kehoe, through the Kehoe. Pat Boutat, good player. George Ferguson, Peter Lee, Greg Malone, Rick McLeish on the Penguins. Man, he was a Flyers legend. Randy Carlyle, defenseman who the Leafs gave up. And then subsequently, Carlyle won the Norris Trophy for Best Defenseman in 1982. Leaf fans must be pissed off about that. Greg Shepard's shoulders. I had him with Boston for the 79. Put out Dougie Shedden. Bart Johnson, part of the American Ice. Paul Baxter. Ron Schutt. Bobby Simpson. Pat Price. Pat Graham. Steve Gatsilds. Jim Hamilton. Ronnie Fulbert. Greg Hoffman. Ron Stackhouse. And Mark Turney. 10 o'clock. And they score. Gatzels scores, the great Gatzels from Boutet and Garner. Damn it. Willie Muleson gives up no goals to the Rangers, who are a better team. And Gardner scores his 21st from Bullard and Boutet. What the fuck? Willie Muleson. That was good. Born to be wild. His 15 from Marini and Merrick. Lots of time? No. Doesn't matter which one it is. They score. Pat Price from Kehoe makes it 3-1. What the fuck? They score. Mike Bullard from Kehoe makes it 4-1. Fuck this, Billy Smith. I'm going to give Muleson the goal. Maybe it'll work. Damn it. Bullard's 19th, second of the night from Gardner and Carlisle. What the hell's going on? We put 10 goals on the Rangers, who were above 500. Did we get to the Pittsburgh takes the penalties. Carlisle. Good. Wayne from Gorman Carroll beside the team. Well, maybe we'll be okay. Much later. Tonali from Merrick makes it 5-3. Yeah, again. 5-3. It's a close game though. Again. Some more from Sutter and Gore. Makes it 5-4. 5 minutes later, enforcer aggression. Hits, no penalty. 3 minutes later. 6 minutes later. Ferguson. We better score. We're down the tie. Tonelli from Lane and Gillies. Ties it at 5. Michelle Dion is fuming. And somehow, in some frickin' way, we come back from 5-1 down after 23 minutes of play and win the tie. Sutter Tonelli, Calor Tonelli scoring his 35th, and the final score is 5-5. The good news is we got a point when it was impossible. Mielison will get the tie. The bad news is the way I play the rules is if I lose or tie in the regular season, I have to simulate the next game until I win. So unfortunately, that means that, well, I was actually going to simulate Islanders Pittsburgh anyway because it was a return match. And we won 5-3 as Billy Smith did it this time. Pittsburgh was up 2-0, goals by Garner, but we managed to score 5. Carroll, Marini, Goring, Trotz, and Boss. Now, we were going to play Pittsburgh twice in the same video. I wonder what the next game would have been. The next game for us, Colorado loses again, would have been Minnesota. You know what? I'm going to simulate it. Yeah, Islanders Pittsburgh. Yeah, I'm going to simulate it. I don't know. I don't have the confidence against Minnesota. Montreal won on Hockey Night in Canada against Detroit. I don't have the confidence against Minnesota I wish. Well, unfound it. Smith beats Beaupre, the man from Waterloo. Not from Kitchener, but Waterloo. Minnesota goes by Cicerelli, Anderson, and Bobby. But our goals by Danny Potvin, Bossy, Trottier, Trotz with the hat trick, and then one more for good measure. So 4 goals for Trottier. Toronto on Hockey Night in Canada beats Quebec. Our next game is, I don't know where, Colorado ties Boston. So, it's February 1st, February 2nd. We are hosting Washington. Did we? Oh, no, we didn't deal with Washington. I was about to say, we dealt with Washington, didn't we? No, we didn't. Quebec's now got more ties than wins. Yeah, Washington we haven't dealt with. Hatchet meant Billy Smith against Al Jansen, who's back up to Dave Paro, and Mike Palmenter, the popcorn kid, the third goalie. Washington has Dennis Maruk, the last Cleveland Baron to play in the NHL. Ryan Walter, who would be a double overtime hero for the Canadiens 7 years later. Mike Gardner, the future 700 goal scorer for Washington, Minnesota, Toronto, Rangers, and Phoenix. Bobby Carpenter, who was traded away to the Rangers in a massive move. Who did the Rangers send back? I think it was Carpenter and Garner both. No, Garner went to Minnesota at first. Then New York. Carpenter. Who did the Rangers give up to Washington? I think it was Kelly Miller, wasn't it? Chris Valentine, Bengt Gustafson, Bobby Gould, Darren Fetak, Gaetan Duchesne, who went to the North Stars, Troy Robertson, Tim Tukey, who's a minor league hockey icon, Lee Norwood, Glenn Curry, Greg Faberge, Rick Green, who would be traded to Montreal in that massive Washington to Montreal trade that brought number 17 Rod Langway back to Washington, and he became a legend. Terry Murray, yes, that Terry Murray, Lou Verschetti, Paul McKinnon, Randy Holt, Jim Taggart, Roland Stoltz, Wes Jarvis, not the former Kitchener Ranger, Timo Bloomquist, Tony Castellato, and Bob Kelly. Early on, first chance goes to us, or the red dice, and we don't score. Much later. So we're hit. 1 minute later. We have a chance? No. And then 3 minutes later, Nystrom for 2. Damn it. But we killed the zone. Thank you, Mom. Enforcer in a fight. Tukey and Gordon Lane. Doesn't hurt us, and it doesn't hurt them, I must say. All right, 3 minutes later. Enforcer, double hit, double dip. But we're okay. Enforcer, another double dip. Another 5. A hit. 4 more minutes. Killer! Finally, let's go. Holiday Road. Holiday Road. His name is not Clark Griswold. It's Clark Gillies. He's 18 from Bossy and Brent. We try to score again. Sessions? Oh, not still for us. 10 alley in the box. Predator can't score. It's 1-0 through 40. Franschetti gets hit by Sutter. Damn it. And they score. Ryan Walter gets his 20th goal. Faberge his 20th assist. Maruk with the assist too. 4 minutes later, Franschetti. Put that on him. Dwayne. Dwayne had a chance. You have a chance, Carol. Fuck. 2 minutes later. They scored. Maruk's 38 from Vitek and Carpenter. Uh-oh. 3 minutes later. Russian. Close 15 minutes better. And they score. Bobby Carpenter for My Bloody Valentine. 3-1. We're fucked. The empty nets don't help us out sometimes. Yeah. How the hell did we lose to Washington, of all people? We lose to the Rangers, that's one thing. Like, fuck, how did we lose to Washington? Ugh. Vexing. And you know the rule. That the next Islanders game must be simulated till we get a freaking win. Ties don't help. Well, we're in Washington anyway. Okay, so we would have had the same situation. And we lost to the Washington. Really lost to them. Washington was up 4-1, and we almost came back. But too little, too late. Fluke. Why is Washington fucking... Colorado crushed Hartford. Wow, Colorado finally gets win number 9. So our game against Detroit has to be simulated. Damn it. Well, we lost the last one. We crushed Detroit. Bob Sauvé couldn't beat Mielsen to save his life. Osborne with Detroit's only goal. On goes right. Brett Sutter, Gillies, Goring, Kalor, Potvin, Tonelli, Bossy. 7 guys for 7 different wives. I don't know what the thing is. I effed up. The Leafs were in Edmonton on Hockey Night Canada. Montreal was in Colorado on Hockey Night Canada, and they lost. They won. So our next game is against Buffalo. We look at the summary. We are 7 ahead of the Rangers. Washington and Philly are filling out the Patrick right now. In the Adams, it's Montreal, Boston, Quebec, Buffalo. Hartford's not doing so well. Edmonton, Vancouver, Calgary, LA, the standings in the Smythe. Colorado sucking. Right now, it's Minnesota, Chicago, Winnipeg, Toronto, with St. Louis and Detroit stumbling. Bossy's got 48 goals, but Gretzky's got 56. Trotier's got 40 goals. Dennis Baruch has 40 goals. Blaine Sowden has 40. John Tonelli's 10th in goals. So we have 3 top 10 goal scorers. Nice. Goaltending wise, Heron drops to 18-2. Milosh and then Billy Smith 2.9. Grant Fuhr's having a good year too. We have 72 points. We're only behind Edmonton. Do they have games in hand on us, or do we? We have plenty of games in hand. We have only played 52 games. The only team with less than 54 other than us is Hartford. So we have to play lots of games. Well, Edmonton played 58, so our points percentage is way better. But yeah, Montreal's is 2. So at least Edmonton's tearing themselves up. Well, Edmonton will be more rested, I guess. But you never know. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond.